Hi, hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us in this webinar. I am Dr. Naila Anwar. I'm Head of Law here at University of Essex Online. And today, joining with me, along with you, is our Director of Learning and Technology, Stephen Livesey, and also Stevie Newton. She is Admissions Team Leader at University of Essex Online. So you can see in these PowerPoint slides, soon they will join and will provide you some demonstration of our platform and also some information about being a student of University of Essex Online. So I've just revealed you what we are going to do. So brief recap. The purpose of this session is to give you a head start or introduction to upcoming changes to legal education and professions. So I am going to focus on what these changes are and what that means for your legal career. And also, I'm going to reveal our upcoming LLB Honours program. So this is going to be the revised program of our current LLB Honours. From there, Stephen will take over and will provide you a demonstration to our platform. So you will have experience to see how a module looks like, what type of materials we include, what type of methods of teaching and assessment we use in our program. And from there, Stevie will provide you some information that how it's like to study online and how you can enroll in a program. And we'll wrap up the session with any question you may have. You can also use our chat box throughout this presentation to make any comment or provide us any questions. We have a number of colleagues who is monitoring this chat box, and that person will pass on question to the right person to answer at the end of this session. Just to quick recap, is this session is recorded. And this recording will be shared with the students through email. So now, talking about what are the changes upcoming in this legal education, you may have seen in Solicitor Regulation Authority's website, that is SRA's website, that the rules to qualify as a solicitor and as a barrister are changing. What that means? That means course starting in or before 2018-2019, they will require QLD or qualifying law degree or graduate diploma in law. But after that period, that means September 2019, for academic year 2020 onwards, this QLD is no longer required to qualify as a barrister. So you can see this slide is mentioning there are two different ways to be a legal practitioner. One is being barrister, another one is solicitor. So to be a barrister, again, these changes will come into force. That means non-requirement of qualifying law degree is from September 2019. However, the Solicitor Regulation Authority has given us a little bit more time to prepare for. What that means that this qualifying law degree is still required to become a solicitor following the subsequent steps there are to become a solicitor until September 2021. So if you are starting on or before September 2021, you will be enrolled in qualifying law degree if you wish to. And then you can progress to current traditional route to qualify as a solicitor. And what that route is, I will show you in a different slide in a minute. So the changes coming to qualify as a solicitor will be implemented from September 2021. That means QLD is no longer required to qualify as a solicitor for academic stage requirement. And a new open public examination will be introduced, and that examination is called Solicitor Qualifying Examination, or SQE. If you go to SRA, Solicitor Regulation Authority's website, then you'll find reference to this SQE, what actually it means, and what this process will involve. So in a nutshell, as I said, that is going to be open public examination, and there are different starting points to qualify as a solicitor, which again I will show you in a different slide. Although the routes to qualify as a solicitor or a barrister are changing, but the requirement for 7 foundations of legal knowledge subject areas remain the same. That means those subject areas made a law degree, a qualifying law degree. That requirement is not going to change, because if one is going to sit for solicitor qualifying examination stage 1 exam, they still will be tested based on these 7 foundation of legal knowledge modules. That means a student or a person who is sitting for examination need to have an in-depth knowledge on those 7 subject areas. So this slide is showing these new solicitor pathways. So the top line you can see, so that's the current route to qualify as a solicitor, which will require either a qualifying law degree or a graduate diploma in law, followed by a legal practitioner course or LPC, and then obtaining 2 years training contract with a law firm, and then applying to SRA to become a solicitor. So this route will remain open for students who are enrolling in a qualifying law degree or September 20 until September 2021. So students enrolling in qualifying law degree or students who are currently in qualifying law degree programs will be able to qualify as a solicitor following this current route until 2032. So long way to go. Then again, another option is opening for you if you are currently in a qualifying law degree, or you would like to take different routes to qualify as a solicitor. And that another option is this open solicitor qualifying or SQE examination. So this examination, as you can see, starts from September 2021, and there are 2 stages. Stage 1 will test your knowledge in those 7 foundation areas of law, followed by 2 years qualifying work experience, and then finally solicitor another stage examination. That means stage 2 examination, where your technical legal knowledge will be tested, and then applying to Solicitor Regulation Authority to become a solicitor. So this whole process would take the same amount of time actually in the traditional current route, and that is 5 to 6 years. So some quick fact, I did mention a little bit earlier that what this qualifying solicitor qualifying examination means. So it means there are 2 stages, as I said. One stage will test your legal subject knowledge, and the second stage will test your technical practical legal skills. This examination will be introduced in autumn 2021, and the first examination or sitting of the examination will happen in November 2021. There will be only 3 attempts at each assessment, and these assessment need to be taken within 6 years' time. If you want further information, detailed information about this process of SQE or assessment requirement, please do visit Solicitor Regulation Authority website. We will provide you information of this website towards the end of our presentation. So Bar Standard Board has taken a different approach to Solicitor Regulation Authority to recognize or to approve or admit someone in the bar. So they still require an undergraduate law degree as academic stage requirement to become a barrister. So that means the academic stage requirement remains the same, although Bar Standard Board will not get involved to recognize it as a qualifying law degree. But a law degree is required to become a barrister. And there used to be 3-step pathways to qualify as a barrister, as the top line shows that a law degree, vocational learning, and then pupillage. But now there will be 4 steps breaking down these vocational skill and learning part of BAR. So I will let you to check this information from BAR Standard Board website, so you can see that the current route remains, but there are more options open, which we are calling now 4-step pathways to qualify as a barrister. As I mentioned earlier, that we are going to introduce a revised LLB Honours program from September 2019. So why are we introducing this new or revised LLB Honours program? Because we are trying to focus on solicitor qualifying examination stage 1 requirement. So when I said focus, this revised program is actually SQE focused program, but not SQE ready program. What that means that many elements of SQE stage 1 examination will be covered in this program. In program level, that means that the contents from in our core modules have been changed. We have introduced many skill-focused or based assessment, for example, drafting, interviewing, client, advocacy, report writing. So those type of assessment will be more frequent under this program. Also, you will have chance to develop skills through different assessment, and we will have different skill-based modules. So those are optional modules. So if you want to focus on developing your skills to sit for SQE stage 1 examination, you'll have that option. But if you want to have a more academic program, you'll have those optional modules too. So the main changes is actually giving you more optionality in terms of modules. So our current program modules remain in this revised program, but we are giving you more skill-based optional modules. We have also, for the changes of this program focus, giving it a balance between knowledge and skill, we have recruited a number of practicing lawyers along with our legal academic professors. So you may find this website very useful, Law Society's website, which will confirm these changes to become a solicitor or a barrister. Or if you want to know more about SQE examination, if you want to know what areas you will be tested in stage 1 and stage 2, please follow Solicitor Regulation Authority's website and BAR Standard Board website. You'll find further information about our course structure, revised course structure for LLB, which we are going to launch in September 2019 in our University of Essex Online website. Now I'm going to pass you to Stephen Livesey, who is our Director of Learning and Technology, and he's going to give you a demonstration to our platform. Over to you, Stephen.
That's great. Thanks, Naila. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking through the learning platform from a student's perspective, just hopefully to give you an idea about what it's like to study online with University of Essex Online. So everything you can see on the screen is from the student's point of view. So I'm logged into the platform as a demo student. I'll just go through some of the features of the learning platform, and then I'll look at some of the content that's part of the program. So first of all, it's important to mention that we try and make the learning platform as easy to use as possible. So you're only ever a couple of clicks away from the resources you need to access as part of your program. And also, you can access everything you need for that program through one central learning platform. We link off to different technologies as you work your way through a module, but the main platform is the virtual learning environment you can see here. Also, everything you can see is mobile responsive, so you can access on your mobile phone, your tablet, PC, laptop. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll go into a module and show you what some content looks like. So this is a company law module. Again, we try and keep the design of each module nice and simple to follow. So for example, on the home page, we have some introductory text, we have the aims of the module, and then the learning outcomes for the module. Each module also is supported by a tutor. So that tutor has their own tutor office with some contact details, a biography, just to give you a bit of background about that tutor, and some details of the service level agreement. Now, tutors will reply to emails within 24 hours during the week or 48 over the weekends, and can also be contacted by different channels through their contact methods on the tutor office. Tutors will also provide feedback and grade assignments within 7 days. And that's really important because we use a range of assessment throughout the module. So to give you an example, this particular module has a couple of discussion forums. It has a written mid-module assignment, an oral presentation, and then an end-of-module project. And because you're always getting feedback from the tutor for these assignments, you can hopefully build your understanding of the topic as you work your way through the module. So rather than one big end-of-module project right at the end, we break the assessment up throughout the, well, this module is 18 weeks. So throughout the 18 weeks, you have the opportunity to demonstrate your understanding of the topic. Each module is also supported by a series of live sessions, so live Q&A sessions, and there's a timetable to go along with that. We use the same platform that we're using right now, which is called Zoom, to host those live sessions. And it's a really great opportunity for the students to not only ask questions of the tutor, but also to meet their fellow students in a live environment. So lots of students choose to activate their webcam, to activate their microphones, or some students will just sit and listen to a session. That's fine as well. Also, all the sessions are also recorded. So if you do miss a live session, it's not a problem. The tutor will send out a recording afterwards. I'm not going to go into every page, but just to reiterate the point before, each module has various module resources, all within just a couple of clicks. So for example, the grading criteria, various legal resources, and so on. Each module is also supported by a core textbook, and that's included in the tuition fees, so you don't need to go and buy any additional textbooks. That's accessed directly through the platform. So if I click on this book, it will load up the ebook platform. Again, the ebook platform will let me access this content on a variety of devices. I could even download the book if I wanted to. If I was going to be traveling or wanted some offline access, that's not a problem. I can download the book to my device. I can make notes on the book. So if I made a note here on my laptop, and then I log in on my tablet, the same note would appear. So it all syncs across my different devices. There's also lots of nice accessibility features. So I can use text to speech. I can change the font size, the font color. I can even print off certain sections from the book if I wanted to, if I chose to do so. Probably the most popular feature of the ebooks is that all those core ebooks are now saved in one place. So as I work through my program of study, my collection of books builds over my program, and then I can search all those books from one central place. So I don't even need to remember which book the content is in. I can search across them all from one central location. So it's a really nice place to access the content. Okay, so the last thing I'll show you is actually some content in this company law module. So down the left in the navigation, we have units. A unit of study is basically a week of study. And in the center, we present the introductory text for this unit. So each unit has a particular topic, some intro text, and the learning outcomes for the unit. And then there are some activities for students to complete. So first of all, there's a reading list for the week. So we point to specific resources that you should be reading this week to cover the topics. That could be something from the core textbook, but also students will have access to an online e-library, which is the University of Essex Online library. So in that online library, you have access to tens, if not hundreds of thousands of different resources, journal articles, further ebooks. And we'll point to the relevant material each week, so you get a guided reading list each week of the module. Back to Unit 1, and this week we also have a lecture cast. So the lecture cast is our version of a traditional lecture. And rather than present students with a traditional lecture, we break that content up into a format that is more suitable for online learning. So to give you an example, as I start this lecture, I control the pace as I work through. So this starts with a short video. This module is... I'll just mute the audio there, but there's a voiceover over the back of this video by the author of this content. And we present the content in bite-sized chunks. So rather than an hour-long video, this particular video is 4 or 5 minutes long, and the students can watch this at their own pace. Also, all the video material or any audio material is accompanied by a transcript. So if you wanted to download the transcript or to view offline, you could do. And then I can work through this lecture in my own pace. So perhaps I could just watch the first video and start to look at this second page, but actually now it's time for me to go to work or time for me to go home or whatever. And the lecturecast will remember where I'm up to. So I don't need to work through this all in one long session. I can do it in my own pace. And it's more flexible, therefore, for students to work through in their own pace. So that's an example of a lecturecast. There are also various other resources that we present to students in modules. Often they're related to the assessment model. So, for example, there are discussion forums, there are group presentations, there are moot exercises, so a wide range of activities for students to interact with. This is just a small example of some of the content that you might expect to find as part of your course. So that's it for the learning technology side. I'd just like to hand over to Stevie Newton now, who will talk to you about admissions.
Hi everyone, thank you very much for that, Stephen. So just to introduce myself now, again, my name's Stevie, so I'm an admissions team leader here at the University of Essex Online. I first joined the University of Essex Online in 2016, so I do have a 3-year extensive experience within the admissions team. So what I'm going to do today is take you through the support that's available, sort of the teaching resources that we have. With everything being 100% online, it's really good to make prospective students aware of the level of support that's available. So even though it's 100% online, we do have a good level of structure and support available to our students. So first of all, with the student support that is available to ourselves. So as you can see, we've got a bit of a breakdown there. So first of all, you have your admissions advisors. So your admissions advisor will be your main point of contact right from your initial interest into the course, right through until you're actually enrolled onto your chosen programme. So we will deal with your application, we'll help you with any queries regarding your course, any information and advice that we can provide. We'll deal with your application, obviously review your entry requirements. It'll then go through to the academics for approval before we go on to the next stage and provide you with a formal offer for your course. So you can see that we do have academic advisors available. So as Stephen mentioned there, going through the learning platform, you will have your direct tutor's contact information for any academic queries. And we do have a fantastic student support team here as well. So not only do you have the support from team admissions right from the very start, but once you're actually enrolled by your admissions advisor, your application will then be passed over to our student support team. So each student will be assigned their own dedicated student support advisor. That person then is your main point of contact right up until the very end of your studies. So you'll be able to ask your student support advisor for any IT related support and any non-academic queries. Okay, so I'm just going to run through the entry requirements briefly with you all for the LLB programmes that we offer. So first of all, we offer the academic entry, which you should be able to see on the screen there. I think there's just a bit of a delay just with the cut-off, but you should be able to see that in just a moment. So with the academic entry, in order to satisfy that route, you would need to have at least 3 A-levels or an equivalent qualification. Now, I do appreciate there may be overseas international students joining us today. So A-levels are normally a level 3 qualification here in the UK, but if you are unsure and you do have a qualification that's been gained outside the UK, we do have an international comparison agent. So if you do submit an application for the LLB and you're a little unsure as to whether your qualification would meet this academic entry, then we will be able to confirm the comparison of that for you. Alternatively, we do also offer the work experience entry route, so perhaps for students who may not quite meet that academic entry that we offer, or have that sort of academic background, you may be eligible for an LLB programme via the work experience entry if you have at least 3 years relevant work experience, along with your maths and English at GCSE level, grade C or above, or again, an equivalent level qualification. So again, that would count if you are outside the UK and you're a little unsure there, then again, we would be able to offer some further guidance on that regarding what qualification you have gained. So briefly, we do also offer the open entry route for our Cert HE course. We do also offer another route onto the LLB. It's the Certificate in Higher Education. It is available for all the law programs that we offer, so that includes the combined courses as well. So as you can see there, you wouldn't need any prior academic qualifications or work experience to gain entry onto the Cert HE. So that is just another available option. Briefly, in terms of English language, this is stated on the website as well under all the entry requirements, but if English is not your first language, we would ask that students have an IELTS score of 6.0 or an equivalent English language qualification. Now, if you don't have IELTS or an English language qualification, then don't worry, you can still apply for a course with us. As you can see there, we do offer a free online English test. So we would just ask you to complete this test to support your application. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly run through the fees and the funding options that are available for our LLB programs. So the full tuition fee for the current 2019-20 academic year is £18,500. So that is just to confirm the full course fee. So if you were to pay for your course fees on an annual basis or for the full course fee upfront, you would benefit from a 10% upfront payment discount. You'll notice there we also offer an international scholarship. So for students residing outside the UK and Europe, you will be eligible to apply for this partial 10% scholarship that we have. In terms of student loans, for students residing in England, that would exclude Wales and Scotland. If you are living in England, you may be eligible for a tuition fee loan from the student loans company to cover the cost of your fees. Just to advise, as part of our admissions process, we'll be more than happy to assist you with your loan application if you do apply for a course with us. We also offer monthly payment plans, so you can pay back in monthly instalments if this is more convenient for you. And as you can see there, we do also offer a 21-day money-back guarantee. So if you did enrol onto the course, I'm sure you'll all be very, very satisfied with the fantastic LLB programme that we do offer. But if for any reason you were to be unsatisfied in any way, or to decide the course wasn't quite for you, then we do offer that 21-day money-back guarantee. You would be eligible for a full refund there. Okay, so I do hope that's helped to cover a little bit more from an admission standpoint, so entry onto the course and sort of the level of structure and support that is available with our online LLB programs. I just want to ask if anyone has any questions at the moment. We'll be looking through that chat box, and I'm just going to pass you briefly back to my colleague Naila, because I understand there are quite a few academic queries that have come through.
Thank you, Stevie. Yes, we have received a number of questions from you, and mostly about opportunities of training contract, help with training contract, and also how this SQE works. So Laura has asked a question that what this means for the degree I gained in 2018 from University of Essex. Laura, if you have meant that what the changes mean, as I mentioned in the presentation, that it means more option for you. If you are doing your degree, which you have gained in 2018, you can follow this traditional route to qualify as a solicitor or barrister, because the route to qualify as a barrister hasn't changed, and the traditional route remains until 2032 for you. So nothing has changed for you. But if you want to wait till November 2021 to take opportunity of this open public examination, that means SQE examination, that option will be open for you too. So it's your choice. James has sent us a question, and his question is, does undergraduate offer or assist with placement on the training contract stage? Our responsibility mainly lies in academic studies requirement. Having said that, as you can see that our program is very much employability focused. That means focused on developing relevant skills which will assist the student to get job in training in law firms, and also prepare them to be able to continue with those legal profession roles. In terms of helping you actively finding training contract, I understand that my colleague has posted you a link to our career website, and that website has a wealth of resources which will direct you to opportunities to gain training contract. And if you are visiting that link, you'll find there is a fantastic audio recorded by Mary Benser, who is the CEO of FLEX, and she actually gives opportunity to students to get a contract with law firm and create your own work. So check it out. Khalid, we have received 2 questions from you. I'll go one by one. So your first question is, due to compulsory course unit, that means I understand that you meant that foundation legal knowledge modules, we will not be able to take all modules required for solicitor qualifying examination. As I said, that our program, which is we are launching especially from September 2019, intends to provide you or wants to give you this opportunity to decide what career path you want to take. So if you want to sit for SQE Stage 1 examination, you may like to take optional modules which are more skill focused. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that you don't have any other career option if you change your mind at the end. All modules in our program help the student to develop skills which are transferable in different career areas, which could be in legal sector or could be related on non-legal sector. So it doesn't mean that to meet the learning outcome of the program, you need to take all modules. Those learning outcomes are divided or distributed in all modules equally. But some modules will be more content which is academic focused, some module will have content which is more skill focused. But as I said, that you will develop transferable skills which may not limit you to one particular option. Khalid, your another question is about whether there will be any mention of participating online in this course in your transcript. Your certificate will not have any mention of your medium of study, but your transcript will. So that's my understanding. And it may have implications in different countries' jurisdiction, but that's the legal education, nature of legal education. So before you enroll for this program, that means any program you are studying distance as a distance learner or online, please make sure that you check it with your regulatory authority who approves qualifying as a solicitor in your home country, that what are their requirements. But if that jurisdiction, I think, only applies for if one wants to practice in legal sector. So check in your own country's jurisdiction authority that whether online education is acceptable to them or not. So I have another question here from Rebecca, and Rebecca is actually in a comment which shows that Rebecca knows quite a lot about the SQE changes coming. She said that I thought SQE was to replace training contract. You're absolutely right, Rebecca, there. So I wouldn't say it's entirely replacing it, keeping it as an option, but it is opening up other options to obtain qualifying work experience. So qualifying work experience now interpreted really broadly, and that includes time spent on a placement during your degree, or a vocational scheme, or working in a law clinic, or working as a paralegal. So in traditional or current route, work experience only meant 2 years formal legal contract. So that option is still there, but there are more options opened which are broadly interpreted at time spent in different areas. So this information is also available in SRA website. Okay, so I understand that my colleague Stevie has received a few questions with regards to admission. So I'm going to pass over to her. And if you have more questions, I'll get back to you.
Thank you very much, Naila. Okay, so I understand quite a few admissions queries have come through, so I'm just going to try and answer as many of those as I can now. So we've had a question from Tazkir, I do hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So they have asked if they can transfer from another university, and they've advised that they've completed level 4 of a law-related programme. Yes, it may be likely that you are eligible for some exemptions. In order for us to confirm that, and to confirm anyone's eligibility for the programme, we would just encourage you to submit an application. If we're looking at previous study, that does obviously need to be within a law-related subject from a recognised institute, ideally that's been gained within the last 5 years, so something that's been studied relatively recently. So we would have a look there at your transcript for the previous modules that you've completed, and we would also ask you for the learning outcomes, just so we can look further into detail about the sort of objectives on the modules that you studied previously, and of course if they will transfer onto the brand new programme that we're offering now. So yes, it is possible, but we would just encourage you to make an application, provide your supporting documents from there, and we'd be more than happy to look into that further for you. Rebecca had another admissions related question. So Rebecca's asked, how much do student loans cover towards the fees in the first year of the LLB? So just to confirm, the student loans company do cover for the amount of our tuition fees. It will be on an annual basis. I do believe it's just over £4,620 per year. So again, going back to, as I explained earlier, during the admissions process, if you submit an application for an online course with us, then we're more than happy to assist, provide some further information about loan applications, so your eligibility for funding from there. The application for loans will be done topped up on an annual basis, so they do it in annual instalments. I do hope that answers your question. Another question from Khalid, who's asked if there is a graduate entry available. So just to advise that there wouldn't be a specific graduate entry available for our LLB programs. It would just be academic or work experience entry onto the LLB, as explained earlier. If you are asking in terms of sort of exemptions based on previous study, if you already have an undergraduate degree that's equivalent to our bachelor's standard, you wouldn't be able to apply for any exemptions based on that, because you would have already gained a full award at the same level. Now, if you do already have an undergraduate bachelor's degree, it's very likely you'll be eligible to study our LLB programme based on that. However, I'm not sure if you maybe want to look into studying at postgraduate level, if that would be maybe more time and cost effective for you, but I do appreciate reasons obviously for why students want to study law at undergraduate level. So the answer there is we don't offer a graduate entry onto the LLB. Okay, so we've also got another admissions question from Jill there, from Trinidad. Hello there, Jill. So Jill has asked, she has over 5 years work experience in a reputable law firm. Is that enough to enter directly onto the first year of the LLB? So going back to the work experience entry, as I explained earlier, based on this, it's likely you would be a good candidate based on that entry route for the LLB programme. In order to support that work experience, you would also need to have your maths and English at GCSE grade C or above. So with you being in Trinidad, Jill, I'm not sure if you're familiar with GCSEs. So they're a level 2 qualification here in the UK. They're normally studied at high school, sort of secondary level. So if you do have a similar or relevant qualification, then by all means, we'd again encourage you to make an application, provide those certificates, a copy of your up-to-date CV, of course, so we can see the outline of your extensive law-related experience there, and we've been more than happy to advise further about your eligibility. But it does sound like you'd be a good candidate based on that. Okay, so we've also got a question from Tess. How much is the monthly fee? So the monthly fee would be at £385 per month. Apart from your deposit, there would be a slight difference there. So your deposit to secure your place on the course would be at £405, and then thereafter it would be at £385 per month. It's obviously just to cover the balance of the full course fee there. Okay, so we have a question from John, who has asked, when graduates, how do we request transcripts? Would you request them from the University of Essex? Just to confirm, if you complete an online LLB programme with the University of Essex Online, you will be invited to the graduation ceremony at the Colchester campus here in the UK. We do appreciate, obviously, that's quite a long way for some of you to travel. If you were unable to attend graduation, then of course your final certificate and your transcripts would be mailed out to you. Okay, I'm just checking there if there's any further admissions related questions. Okay, so another question there from Tazkaya. So has asked, can I start from the second year of LLB? So again, that would depend on your previous study. So we would need to check and see if any previous law-related modules that you may have completed with a different institute do transfer over onto the current programme that we're offering. On the new LLB programme, there will be some mandatory modules that you will need to complete now at level 4, regardless of what you've completed at a different institute. So just be aware of that. But again, we are happy to look into possible module exemptions for you. In order for us to confirm that, you would need to apply and provide your supporting documents. And when I say that, just to confirm, it would be your official transcript from your previous university or institute where you studied to confirm the modules that you've completed on their programme, and a copy of your module learning outcomes. Okay, so I just have another question here from Jill, who's asked, are loans applicable to non-English citizens or students in the UK? So to my understanding, if you have been in the UK, if you've been living in the UK for 3 years and you will be residing permanently in the UK from the start date of your course and for the duration of your studies, then yes, it is likely you will be eligible for a loan to cover the cost of your tuition fees. When we have finished the webinar today, if you do visit our website, we do have some further information about student loans eligibility. We do also have an eligibility tracker that you can check on the website. So if you do have any queries sort of about your eligibility for funding from the student loans company, do look into it on our website. But I would also encourage you to speak to Student Finance directly. They can always provide some further guidance. But it does sound likely. Okay. So just a few more questions that have come in there. So what if a university wants that mailed directly to them? That's come from John. If you're asking about previous documents or transcripts in regards to exemptions, I'm not too sure about that question there, sorry, John. If you're asking about entry onto the course, then we can accept documents directly from the student. If you provide scanned or photo attachments, that would be more than sufficient. You can also request these documents from previous university. If you do need those as well, that wouldn't be a problem. I do believe a few more academic queries have come in now, so I'm just going to pass you back over to Naila, who's going to help answer those for you.
Hi, yeah, we have received a few more academic questions, and one I understand is from Amy. Amy has asked, I don't want to become a solicitor. Is it still worth me studying in this course? Amy has mentioned that studying law is not a condition to become a solicitor or a barrister. It actually gives you opportunity to develop wide range of transferable skills, which will give you opportunity to work in sector, government, non-government, bank, retail, in all sector, you name it, and is there. Good example, Barack Obama, although he was a lawyer, but he is end of the day a politician. So there were many politicians, entrepreneurs, and also you find successful business persons actually from legal background, because legal education helps the student to develop a number of transferable skills like research, analytical, problem solving, decision making, leadership. So these are and time management. And acting promptly. So these are the skills which are valuable in many other sectors. So no, Amy, you are not limited only to become a solicitor or a barrister, but that's an option if one wants to be. But there are a number of stages that person need to go through to achieve that goal. But if you think that legal practicing is not your option, then as I said, your transferable skill will help you to venture opportunities in wider job market. I have a question here from James. James asks that, can I complete a training contract in Scotland, or does the 2-year requirement have to be completed in England? So James, if you have reached to the point of training contract, I understand that you have completed your legal practitioner course to your current role, and training contract, again, as I said, that's the end, and you need to check it with the Solicitor Regulation Authority, that whether they recognizes the firm or the place you are working with as a valid training contract provider. So I cannot say that why it will put any restriction as a recognized training contract from my perspective, because the SRA website only mentions the 2 years work experience or training contract, and they don't specify that it needs to be in England or Wales. But you never know, better to check it out with SRA. We have a question here from Dan. So Dan asks that if you have an existing degree, is there an option of completing the LLB in a shorter time frame than the 4-year period? It's up to you, Dan. When you mean, if you mean shorter time frame means less than 4 years time, you can double up if you are academically competent and you passed all module in its due time. So that's a possibility, but this is entirely up to you how you progress through the program. Patrice has a question here. I have a bachelor's in management. If I understand correctly, there is a law conversion course. Will these now make my current degree irrelevant? I'm not quite sure that what actually you meant by that, but we don't provide law conversion course, which is called Graduate Diploma in Law. If you are planning to do any graduate diploma in law, you need to check it with providers who provide these qualifications. Jessica has asked that I am currently studying your LLB. Can I transfer to the new course? Jessica, I don't have much information about which level you are currently, but as you are in the program, you have all right to apply for a transfer if you want. But remember that it's a new program, and it's actually if you meant that September 2019 Llb Honours program, it's a new program. So there are many aspects which are different in this new program. But as a current student, you have the right to apply for transfer. James has asked another question. Can I start an LLM before qualifying with the Solicitor Regulation Authority? I'm not quite sure what you mean by Solicitor Qualifying Authority. Have you meant Solicitor Qualifying Examination, James? So if you are in current LLB program, then to get into LLM, you need to have an undergraduate level qualification. So I don't have enough information to comment on that, but if you have already an undergraduate level qualification, and if you want to go in a master's level qualification, apply by all means, and then we take it from there. But I know that if you are in LPC program, that's actually in your level 7, that means a master's level qualification. So that shouldn't stop you to take another master's level qualification. Oluchi has asked a question that I have a BSc in another course. Do I qualify for GDL? Oluchi, unfortunately, we don't provide graduate diploma in law course. You need to check with providers who offer this qualification. So Dr. Mohammed asks us a question that I am just completing the course in my first year LLB with you. Could I be on the new route during my year 2? It's the same answer I have provided to Jessica Mohammed, that if you are in a current program and would like to transfer to the September 2019 program, you do have all right to apply. But as I said, that this is also said that this is a new program with new learning outcomes and objectives. This is actually mainly for students who are starting fresh, because there is one module at the beginning of this program which creates the foundation for the whole program. I don't have the name of this student, but we have another question. I started LLB with University of London, but did not complete. Can I start with undergraduate even though I don't have a postgraduate degree? So if you have started your LLB with University of London, I understand that you do have a requirement which entry requirement which is equivalent to A level. So please do apply, but I understand your query is for undergraduate. But to so undergraduate, if you are studying undergraduate level qualification somewhere else in UK institution, I presume that you may fulfill the entry requirement for our program. But for postgraduate, we definitely need either an undergraduate level qualification or work experience, which is relevant work experience in senior level. So check out our website for further information entry requirement. So these are the questions I had currently, and thank you for all your questions. That's been really helpful, and I hope that you found this information useful. So if you don't have any further question, oh, okay, I was just told that we may have one more question. So let me see that and answer you that question. Okay, sorry. That happens, so it is quite late. So thank you for all your questions, and I hope that you found it useful. And if you want more information, then please check our website, University of Essex Online, essex.ac.uk. You can see in the slide our phone number, also email address to make queries if you want to know more about our LLB programs or also LLM program. And I understand that we are ending this webinar quite soon because we promised you that it would run until 7. So if you have any further questions, please use this email address and get in further information from our website if you need to, and send your query to us, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. One interesting fact about University of Essex Online, our reply time is 24 hours. So in weekdays, so you will get granted prompt response from us. So best wishes from all of us, me, Dr. Naila Anwar, Head of Law, and Stevie Newton, Head of Undergraduate Admissions, and also not in camera, but thanks from Stephen Lipsey. Okay, best wishes, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you more.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.